What Ben is talking about here is, if you look at the lake...
Let's just get the start here first, Marcus. They're just about to go, and yeah, that's it. They're off. You can see everyone accelerating up to full speed. Beautiful backdrop that is Lake Garda, and it looks like a clean start. Again, that's 3 today. Oh, one boat there just couldn't make the pin. They couldn't make it, so they had to reach around, but that's okay. They've got around now.
A little less than half the fleet heading out toward the right side. Here, beautiful images.
Coming off the start line, Matthew Frey and Jan Richaud, they were our third place finishers in the last race, and interesting to see them so far right. We can go back to the fleet as a whole here. Lots of action off the start here. The teams, it's a little lighter than it has been, significantly actually, probably down to about 10, 12 knots. A little bit ominous. We talked earlier about how the breeze has been dying throughout the day. Yeah, it could be an interesting race, this, if the wind completely dies.
What's happening here on Lake Garda is the wind blows down the lake, and there's more wind on that side here, and that's why all the boats are keen to get there, but it's never for sure. With the dying breeze, this side could pay as well. So let's look at the overview and see where boats are heading.
As Marcus said, all the boats have tacked, heading to that right side that's windier. At the bottom of the course, it's still breeze on. The guys are flying, but now the fleet tacking over. Even the guys who started on starboard are now trying to get right, and the guys who came off the pin, who made the boat there, are already taken our virtual lead. So once again, the right side proving its favorability. This could be a exact replay of what we just saw in the first two races. But to be honest, with the wind dying out, we might actually see some other things happening too. So lots still to be decided in this race.
Definitely. Let's look at the... Well, it's too early to look at the standings. Let's see how the race develops. At the moment, if you look at the overhead, the right side being favored. Let's look at the people who are leading out there.
Yeah, we've got the gain line coming up, and in the lead, we've got our Swedes, Charlie Engberg, and in second place...
Second place, that's...
Pavel Kostov, our race winner from the last race, so they're doing an exact replay, and in third, we've got Julien Dottori. So Charlie Engberg, he entered the day in 7th, and he... is not in our leaderboard anymore, so he must have had a couple struggling races. Can you get the virtual standings there, Marcus, and see how he slipped down? He's looking to recover today. He was at...
Here's the current standing, race 7 results, fresh results coming in every 12 seconds. Amazing technology, and we have a lead change. That's incredible.
No, this is just for the race, Marcus. We're
all right.
We've got Charlie Engberg. If you need to click R7, and it'll reorder it for us, won't it?
Yeah, let's do that.
There we go. Just like that, folks, you can see who's in the lead and how it affects the rest of the regatta. If you were to then click on the sum, it would change again. Amazing stuff. So we've got a tight battle between the Swedes and the Croatians, between first and second. We can see them bouncing back. Irish also up there. Let's go out to our virtual and see how the fleet looks. They're just pounding it out to the right side. We'll go into the virtual and see how tight it is. Everyone's figured it out at this point, so they're all trying to get a lane going right so they can get as fast as possible and get to that strong breeze on the far right side of the course.
What's interesting is there's not only more breeze onto that side, but they're also going higher towards the windward mark. See big difference in the angles here, so that's why the left side pays so much. Sorry, the right side, of course.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful scenery behind. We can see some of these cliffside mansions that the fleet is passing by. Thanks for those images, James. That's just perfect. The fleet is really tight here, and they are flying in. Amazing stuff. Let's check in with our virtual again and see how that lead's bouncing around.
Yeah. Right side keeps paying.
Let's find out. We saw the Irish were
Charlie
popping
Ekberg's
into
still
the
leading, Croatians second.
Let's see the position of the Irish, because they were popping into the lead at some point. Oh, the Alonsos, first time we've seen them today. So they had been sailing a very good race. They won the qualifying series, which of course doesn't contribute to the scores overall of this week. But they're finally having a good race for today. And all the guys, the farther right they are, the better they seem to be doing. It's just a tight battle. For those of you at home wondering what happened to Alan Norgard, he is sailing the race. He's doing fine, but his tracker ran out of battery, so we won't be able to see his exploits as we've been enjoying so far this today. We can, however, see that Tom Lange, our 49er speed record holders, are in the mix as well. They're the first attack. They're attacking early. To be honest, I'd say that's a virtual correction rather than a real race result. I think the guys on the right will continue to take up. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they take the lead here because they attacked on the ley line accurately, but it's a virtual ley line. It doesn't have to be down to the accurate down to the last degree.
Yeah.
So they're not in the lead.
They're not in the lead, no.
Especially since the right side is favored and you can well go over the ley line, catch more breeze and go fast towards the windward mark.
We saw that in the last race, didn't we? We saw that the Croatians were well advanced on the ley line and they were going half a knot faster than the Irish and were able to protect their lead without any trouble. And I've got confirmation now. I believe we've got Alan Norgard's tracker back up.
Back, yeah.
And wouldn't you know it, he's in the mix. What a surprise.
Absolutely.
Alan has just been
He's
sailing fantastically this regatta, and now he's
top three positions.
Looks like position-wise he's probably going to take the lead unless the Croatians, I'm assuming, can use that boat speed they have in that low mode to get over top. This will be a tight battle. James, focus in as much as you can on those leaders for the next little while, and let's see what happens. You can see how tightly bunched the fleet is at this stage. Now that they've all figured out there's no left side of this course, they're all pounding it out there.
Yeah, all bunching up on the right side.
Yeah, and the tracker is now confirming that Alan is probably going to be, well, it's tight. We're again looking at this group of boats in the live screen. Okay. Really tight racing. This is a bit of a boat speed contest, but the guys are geared up for that.
Like Toby Schadewald is looking well, going high on from the left side now. He's the boat way on the left here.
Oh,
going really high. See how high he's going towards the windward mark? The other's going
definitely in contention. We're going to have a tight windward mark rounding, that's for sure.
How they're doing over there on the other side. So we've got the leading boat on the right side. That's Alan Norgard doing 8.6 knots, and Toby coming in with 9.2 knots, actually going faster. So what we anticipated is happening.
Can we get their names up on the virtual
yes,
leaderboard here, Marcus?
Can.
That'd be great. So just for the guys at home, so they know exactly who we're talking about. But on virtual now, Tobias Schadewald coming in from the left side has taken the virtual lead. But as you can see on the far right, we've got Alan Norgard with the white streak. He is probably well. You said he's coming in a little slower and farther away. So this could be the real result here.
So let me zoom in a little bit onto that.
Sorry, Marcus, we've got confirmation here. Tobias Schadewald into the windward mark in the lead. He tacks around. It'll be interesting to see if he jibe sides like everyone else has, or if he sticks to his left. And wouldn't you know it, he stays, goes back to where he came from. Not a surprise there.
Typical move. If you gain on one side, you usually go to that side again. That's what he's doing. And the rest is following. They were all a bit surprised for him to come in there.
Yeah, and we see, I'm guessing that's Jan Richaud, who started on the left in second.
Really interesting. Not too single-sided, this racetrack here on Lake Garda.
Let's zoom out as you're doing perfectly. Alan Norgard, Mr. Consistent, third again. This guy can't be stopped. James, wonderful image. Almost the entire fleet there stacked up. That's just beautiful stuff. Anytime there's a couple lanes to the windward mark that are fair, the 49ers are going to get to the windward mark all at once. You can see there are 4 or 5 stacked up at the windward mark right now, all trying to round at the same time. And wouldn't you know it, the entire fleet has figured out what's up, and they're all straight setting. It doesn't take much of a lead change for everyone to figure out what's going on, and these guys are on it. Tobias extending nicely. He really did well up that beat.
Charlie Ekberg, who was leading the bunch on the right side for a while, coming in as 4th. So, interesting race. Going to be interesting how that pans out.
First time we see Martin on the leaderboard today. Polish, I can't remember his sail number, that doesn't matter. Anyways, Martin, Olympian from 2008. He's been sailing up and down all week. He struggled a bit at times in the early stages of the regatta, but had a great last day of qualifying. No problems there. He's a class act. And those guys are in a tight race this time.
You know what really surprises me? That everyone agrees on the left side of the course now. Nobody's jiving out. That's amazing.
Not a single boat. You're right.
Must be really obvious.
Well, we did see the good angle that Tobias came up in. So now, the guys get to straight set and good angle, getting into more breeze. That's probably what it is. It's probably shifted to the left quite a bit, and
maybe it's even a bit of thermal effect on that mountain in the background that sucks a bit of air in, and then we get this left-hand shift. That could be the pattern behind this.
James, just zoom out and cover the whole fleet for us. We can look back at the leaders. That's a wonderful shot. We got them all in a line here coming on starboard. We can see actually the shift has meant that most of the first run here is going to be spent on starboard, and they're sailing into increased breeze. You can see the spinnakers shimmering. James, why don't you just zoom in and just see exactly how big that lead is we've got for Tobias. That's just wonderful. He's really extended. He's loving life at the front of the fleet. With his win in the first race and this race here, he'll be looking to climb the standings nicely. Good, solid final day as we try and qualify for the fleets. Standings not changing much as you'd expect with them all going in a straight line here. James, just zoom back out to the whole fleet again. I'm sure that'll be a wonderful shot.
Yeah, you can see the ferry nailing through the course. That's going faster than the boats. But see that little big boat there, how slow it is compared to the 49ers? They're just nailing past them.
That's the ferry you're talking about. That's okay. We've got some leeward mark footage coming through here. You can really see the colors of these guys lit up against the cliffs. This is, of course, from the bottom looking up at them as they approach the leeward gate. There is not much left in the run here. They've probably got less than 30 seconds. Sam, just keep that up. Get these images as Tobias comes into the leeward gate for the first leeward mark running.
Fastest boat on the course at the moment, by the way, doing 10.2 knots. The guys who are following just 9.8 knots, doing really well. Ellen going fast, 10.2 as well.
Just going into their jibe now, Marcus. That'll be child's play for them. But as you talk about how fast they're going downwind, that'll really be helping them in the King of the Downwind standings, which is a competition within a competition to see who will sail with the least time downwind today.
Yeah, we're looking at the GPS data and trying to find out who's the fastest boat in a race, who's the fastest boat on the downwind. And be interesting to look at that afterwards. So Toby going round and heading out to the left side of the course again. Let's see what Alan is doing. Does he believe in the left side as well, or does he take a split and heads towards the right? He's
we've seen today that he's not one to be shy about where to go, and he rounds the left mark, which is... Well, he rounds the go right mark, so
let me get rid of
he's
some
got
of
a
those
few
labels
options
here.
Thank you.
So we've got Toby and Alan. Interesting split now. and you have to put your money on someone, Ben. Let me know who you believe in.
At this stage, I'm going to say Tobias here. You know why? Because I think Alan tried to avoid all the spinnakers downwind. That's why he's hitching up. Tobias, he's outside far enough. He won't be affected much by the guys going downwind, and he's going to come in. He's doing the short leg first, and then he'll be able to blaze across and cover. Shouldn't be much in it.
He was going out low to the left side. I'd put my money on him as well, but it is awfully tight. The advantage line actually favoring Alan at the moment with the big lead he had. Maybe the wind is not quite right. That's calculating that advantage line. So a lot
of the old pros would say you do the long leg first, which is what Alan's done. We saw all starboard on the downwind. Now he's on port for the long bit on the upwind. Tobias has already taken some of his options away. And there's no geographic effect that's going to help Tobias on this left side. None local anyways. Maybe something more global.
What could happen, a hunch I had was that, you know, this big mountain here, it's the sun is shining onto it, and that the breeze that comes down here gets shifted a little bit to the left because there's suction happening here, and that could lead to the boats on the left side getting lifted a bit more. And maybe that's happening. So gonna be interesting to see how this is gonna pan out. The battle between the first two here. Let's focus on that a little bit. Whilst you could look at the results and see if there's anything happening in the back of the fleet that we should focus on. So, top 7. It's really tight in 7th spot. English boat made it in there in the current standing. Tied on points with a French boat.
Well, what's interesting there, you can see James Peters bouncing back and forth between 7th and 8th.
Yeah.
If he finishes 7th here and none of the other youths come through the qualification system, that'll be his Youth Worlds 1, Youth World Championships. If he's in 8th, then he's got to battle them all. So really important that he ekes this out for his overall standings, for the odds of him of holding that title. That's exciting stuff. And you can see it bouncing.
So we do have a world championship battle happening at the back of the fleet, and interesting battle in front of the fleet, but thanks to the SP analytics we can see it all. We could have a world champion, but he's dropping back now to 10th place, actually behind the Germans.
You can see with the tight mark, I mean, there's 5 points in all those boats. You can see how quickly, every 12 seconds, they're bouncing back and forth during the race.
Exciting stuff. Let's go back to the front of the fleet. Tobias Schadeval and Alan Nurgat first.
Puts a smile on my face, yep. Marcus. I wish the camera was on me.
Money on the right guys.
You put me on the spot, and I got it right for once.
All right. Let's see what Toby is going to do. Is he going to cover him? Is he going to do the classic move, defend, and tack on top of him, or does he let him go? In the 49er, attack is
James,
expensive.
if you'll just keep up with our leaders, that'd be great. But yeah, in a 49er, what do you reckon?
I'm surprised that in the tracking I can see he let him go.
Well, we can all see it. It's in the bottom corner of the screen, but I'll zoom in to let you know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So Toby let Alan go, but Alan...
that's because Alan's come back.
Yeah, he's come back. He did tack, and in a situation like that, you know, in a lot of classes, the boat would have gone on top to go on the axis of the windward mark above it, but in a 49er, the tack is so expensive that you're trying to avoid it if strategically it makes sense to keep going, and Toby must believe in this side, and Alan too, otherwise he wouldn't have tacked there.
Yeah, I'd say Alan got defensive there, came up. You can see he's actually in a tight battle now with the guys on his hip. Consolidate his little move on the leeward mark that didn't actually get him the lead, and now he's in a comfortable position. Basically, no one can pass him from there. The guys on the right aren't going anywhere. There's no one on his hip anymore. He's now safely second, and we just got Tobias.
Yeah, his tracker is
just
currently
paused for a moment, but you can be sure he's still sailing.
Yeah, he's in a solid lead.
Yeah. Oh, you can just see Alan in the right side of our screen.
Yeah.
Coming up, Tobias miles ahead.
Make no mistakes. He's in second place, even though we see the Danish boat way on the right side of the screen. He's above the other boats that we see in the background, so he is in a solid second place.
That's perfect, James. Thanks.
As you can see in the graphics, he's above all the boats heading out to the right side.
Tobias, so we can see Tobias's boat speed. I mean, the first race he was off like a rocket. This race he's extended both on the upwinds and the downwinds. So he's definitely not a guy to leave out and clear air.
9.7 knots currently.
And how are the Croatians doing? They obviously have bet heavily yet again on the right side, and the virtual has them moving up a little bit. Here we go. There's James Peters having a good race.
Well, on average, they're not slower in this race. I can't see their current speed. Just to give me a second, 9.2 knots. So Toby being faster on the left side. A little faster than the Croatians. So let's look at the battle again for 7th place and the Youth World Championship.
Looks like Julien Dottori has jumped into the top 7 along with Mathieu Frey and Jan Richaud. So 2 French teams occupying the last 2 spots into the finals of the theater style, automatic into the last round. The Irish just bouncing on the edge there, so it's so tight. You can see every 12 seconds.
But they're battling at the end of the fleet. Like in place 6th, the French boat is 17th at the moment. Still a slight lead towards the British boat battling for the Youth World Championship, which just jumped in 7th place again. So that's going to stay exciting.
Yeah, you can see how congested it is in the mid-fleet. Places change all the time.
So, Ben, please explain to our viewers how this is a European Championship and a Youth World Championship at the same time.
Well, that's right, Marcus. We're able to do a separate standings for the youths. They race in the same races. Obviously, you can see them here competing. But for everyone who's 23 and under, they get the additional title of Youth World Champion should they be able to win. That's a big deal. We have 33 youth teams here at the regatta, which is a good sign at the beginning of a quadrennial.
How old is the youth?
23 and under as of January 1st this year.
It's a nice definition of youth.
Well, this is a man's boat, so there you go. Tobias Shadowalt comfortably into the lead. Denmark, Alan Norgard following behind. I'd say he lost a little bit up the speed. He's still in a comfortable position, and he'll be able to extend or hold his position.
Closing in towards the windward mark. Toby and Alan here.
Getting ready to set their sails.
Yep.
Betting on a straight set again. I'm almost for sure. With the wind shift, these guys have nothing to gain by jibe setting at this point. So we'll see.
I'm not 100% sure. They didn't extend all the way out to the left. See, they're jibe setting.
Oh, look at that.
Seems there is a bit more breeze still at the Rockies.
Maybe it's the ferry coming
at
through
the mountains. Yeah, it could be.
That
big ferry boat crossing. So if he's coming back, it was the ferry. If he's not coming back, if he
what do you think is that? I mean, he's in a. Let's just go back to the live just for a second, because Tobias, our leader, now has to go through all this traffic based on the ferry, whereas Alan Norgard rounding in second, he might be able to go straight if he wants to. It might be bad timing, but there could be an opportunity for someone to make a gain here.
But if Toby would believe in the left side of the course, he'd jibe now, and you can see Alan also decides to go back to the rocks.
As I look down, it's quite light at the windward mark compared to what we're seeing at the bottom of the course, but the wind is still doing very nicely at the bottom, so I don't think that we'll have any major upsets in the standings on this downwind. Everyone just sailing as well as they can.
If my theory about the thermal effect on the right side of the course is correct, then you would get more breeze towards that side. So on the first upwind, the shift might have been the dominant feature, but now again the breeze would be strong on the left side. It might not shift much more, so that's why boats are heading down towards that right side. That's the kind of thoughts the sailors are having whilst they try to find the shortest way to the next mark.
And just for our viewers at home who aren't looking at the cliffs as we speak, the sun has come over. It's now just past midday, and that's why these cliffs are heating up so much. They were in the shadow all morning. Makes a big difference to how the wind comes down the fleet.
Yep, so I can show that once more. Let's zoom out a little bit. That's Lake Garda. That's the rocks where the big mountain we're talking about. The sun is shining from this side onto the mountain, heating it up, and that sucks air in here. Stronger breeze on the right side of the course. That's where everyone is heading. Let's zoom back in. So Toby has jibed. Toby and Oliver have jibed. Alan as well. I think we got a little bit of time to look at the overall scores once more. So Alan comfortable first.
Even with having a real tough day, we've got Thomas Janowski in Poland. You know, he's battled, I'm sure, all day long, put in 3 pretty pedestrian results, but because of how well he started the regatta, he's going to be comfortably in the finals as well. We've got Martin, also from Poland, having a good race. But you can see actually the scores are really tight between. We've got 6 points separating second from ninth. At the finish of this race, so much is on the line as the guys.
I'll highlight Ortoli and Peters and Fry to see who's winning out of those, because that could mean the world title, the youth world title, for them if Peters and Gerard win.
Okay, that'd be great.
It's Ortoli, and the third boat is Fry. So you can't see them right now. Mathieu Fry, there he is. Let's.
So even though these boats are so far separated in this individual race, the way sailing works is they're actually racing for a really important championship right now. And thanks to the magic behind the scenes here in the SAP studio, we're able to bring that to action to you.
So James Peters would have to gain 1 place in order to become world champion.
Well, but there's a lot of complicated math because there's other people bouncing around as well, you see, Marcus. That's why we're seeing this the standings jump so much so quickly. We've got right now we've got Thomas Janowski with 46 points, and then if you scan all the way down to 10th place, we've got Jan Eriksson, the other youth sailor, at 53. And now it's only a 6-point gap. So 6 places, 2 each way, a couple each way, and this will jump all the way through to the finish.
A lot could happen on that downwind. So Peters can't do much. He's in 4th place. James Peters can't do much. He can only hope that Mathieu Fry and Julien Ortoli are losing 1 place, and then he'd be ahead in 7th position.
Just coming in on the finish here, Marcus. We've got the Germans, Tobias, coming up beautifully here. Looking at it from the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, huge lead for them.
So that's a nice, second comfortable win for Tobias. He'll be happy with that for sure. And now we can see the battle behind them.
James Peters in 4th place, but there's 2 boats quite close. Not much in it. If we could catch that boat, but it's probably not enough room towards the finish to get him. So he can only hope that
he can only focus on
that Ortoli is losing pace. He doesn't know that now. He can't calculate the scores like we can.
That's too much math. That's too much math on the water. But
his parents might be watching, and we can tell him that he's close to becoming the world champion already. He can do it tomorrow. But if he jumps to 7th place, he just dropped back to 9th. If he jumps to 7th place, that he could get an early title. Okay, bring up the scores again. So at the moment, 9th place for Peters and 52 points. And it's actually just 3 points to 5th place. So he just jumped to 7th. Ryan Seaton down to 6th.
Let's catch a little bit of this action as it comes into the finish, and we'll jump to the scoreboard as things conclude. We've got teams flying across the line. You can see how close they are physically on the water, how much it matters in the standings. And these guys are racing for inches, and it just makes all the difference in their overall results. The 49 are racing at its best with this amount of chaos.
Right, back down to 9th place.
Yeah, James had a great race there for a 4th, and he's at a 7th as well on the day, so he'll be happy with that. But it looks like at this point it won't be enough to secure him the championship just yet.
Let's see how Julien Ortoli is coming in. He's way out on the left side in 20th place. Are they doing another lap? No.
No, but you can see the guys that Julien is racing against in the pink streaking in from the top. That's actually where the battle for the Youth World Championship can be decided, is whether Julien has got his ley line right, whether the guys coming in from the on port, on starboard, are going to be able to take any spots away from him. Just as we've got these boats piling across the line. Sam, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you can zoom in on the French boat coming in on the far side on the left. That would be fantastic.
He's in 21st place right now. Can we get the scoreboard back up? Let's get it back up and see. James Peters at the moment in 9th place, but it's
1
awfully
point
close.
to 7th.
It's just 1 point.
And it's actually
Will
now...
Ortoli really be 25th? It's a discard for him, so he can't drop lower than that. And Mathieu 5, 15th, he's finished. So it's going to stay exciting even for the Youth Worlds title. It's not decided. If he would have made it to top 7, that would have been it. But he has to battle the German boat. They're in 9th and 10th place, and followed by a boat in 11th place.